About this house, once upon a time in Bowmanville, Ontario, I remember a basket full of toys, swinging from a tree overlooking the pond, an outhouse behind the barn, chicken dinners and apple pie with cheese, parsley still growing under the snow, and talk about a new electric kettle on the market. I wondered about the china figurines on the mantel, the tennis court that used to be, why no one used the front door, and why was all the reading material next to the toilet in the back bathroom. Elizabeth Elford, baptized in Cornwall, England, and Samuel Vanstone, baptized in Devon, England, married in Bowmanville in 1844. Jabez was the sixth of 15 children. Only 7 reached adulthood. On June 26, 1877, he married Selina Jane Cole. This ad for the mills in Tyrone and Bowmanville was from the Saturday Globe, Toronto, November 24, 1894. The paper describes J.C. Vanstone as a practical miller, a member of the town council, and a life member of the Toronto Board of Trade. Jabez and Selina had 3 children. Fred was my grandfather. He played football and appears here dressed as the team's vice president. Fred attended the Toronto School of Business. At his waist, he wore a watch, a treasure his son Jabez held until the day it was stolen. Fred's sister, May, and her cousins dressed for a family wedding. The ownership of the Tyrone and Bowmanville mills was transferred from J.C. to F.C. Vanstone. Frederick Carlos Cyrus Vanstone, on February 20th, 1907, entered into marriage with Alice May Cawker. It was then that his mother, Selina, and sister May left the house on the hill to take up residence in Toronto near High Park. In those days, a windmill drew the water into a cast iron tank located in the attic. It provided pressure to the taps, and Daisy the cow provided milk for the family. Alice was the daughter of Charles Matthew and Sarah Glover Cawker. She had 3 brothers, Arthur, Wesley, and Morley, 1 sister, Addie. Alice would have been 5 years old when this home was built. Her father and brothers were enterprising merchants who provided the townspeople with meat and groceries. As a young woman, Alice enjoyed the outdoors with friends. She had a talent for painting and was especially proud of her garden. Are the flags on the railing a sign that it's Orangeman's Day? I see the mill faint in the background, a tree waiting for a swing, the fence around a tennis court. Which child is this? Eventually, a pipe running over the dam and up the hill brought town water to the house. To prevent freezing, a tap was kept dripping during winter months. My father, Jabez, kept this family photo in his desk drawer. He pointed out to me that he and Byron were the only ones left, a reminder that generations pass and time marches on. I heard stories about amazing visits with Aunt May, trips to downtown Toronto, and the Canadian National Exhibition. Jabez writes a letter home about the swimming excursion to Scarborough Beach. Cars were popular with teenagers, and Dad loved telling us about the motor trip west with Morley. Jabez graduated with a commerce degree from the University of Toronto. He fell in love with Joan Garthorne Hume, a nurse at the Wellesley Hospital. Morley was the best man. Jabez received the Gold Medal Award from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Ontario in 1939. I was born in Kitchener, where my father worked as a chartered accountant for Thorne Mulholland. After war was declared, he moved us to quarters on Spadina at St. Clair and worked for the Foreign Exchange Commission. The expanding Fred Vanstone family is introduced to the children of his brother Byron, who was later instrumental in the formation of the Toronto Dominion Bank. I learned to crawl on the beach. Holiday time for Joan and Jabe. I remember the crank phone in the kitchen for calls up to the house, the high latch on the door to the balcony, having to pass through seaweed and rocks to reach the sandbar, being pushed over the cliff, meeting the fishing boats at the docks. We stayed in Uncle Frank's cottage. I looked forward to visiting Bowmanville. I remember one Halloween, lots of cousins in fabulous costume, jack-o'-lanterns, bobbing for apples, and waiting for our fathers to start the fireworks. Grandfather Fred took the CPR to court over the proposed construction of this bridge. Norm Tilley, his cousin and a lawyer, argued that it would impact the water flow to the mill dam. As part of the settlement, Fred received CPR shares, and as the story goes, CPR hired Norm. Time proved the assertion correct. I remember an early spring visit to check out the damage done to the dam. A fun challenge from Alice. A more difficult challenge from Canada Pension. No Frederick on the certificate. It was added at the time of baptism in memory of another Fred. I remember the fuss. A boutonniere designated me as family. Aunt Rox assigned roles to each of us. Our grandparents were presented with a tea wagon that included gold cups and saucers. I was given a silver teaspoon as a reminder of the occasion. I came alone by bus. The driver let me off right in front of the house. As Alice and Fred began to age, the trips to visit increased. My lasting memory is the image of my grandparents walking out front to wave goodbye as we drove off. Found after their deaths, and I was intrigued by the note about the red cow.